All right, we're going to look at the United States involvement in World War I, also called the Great War. A little bit of background about World War I. World War I began in 1914, and almost every country in Europe was involved in the war. There were two sides that fought, the Allies and the Central Powers. And World War I ends in 1918.
The Central Powers included the German Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire. The Allies included the British Empire, France, Russia, Serbia, Belgium, and the United States joined the Allies in 1917.
So here's a map showing the different countries involved in the war. And again, these aren't all the countries, but just some of the primary ones. And the countries in blue are the Allies, and the countries in red are the Central Powers. And an easy way to remember that is that basically those countries are in the center of Europe.
So why did the United States join the Allies? German submarines were sinking ships. In 1915, a British ship called the Lusitania was sunk. 128 Americans on the Lusitania died. The German submarines were sinking many ships across the Atlantic Ocean.
And here's a picture of the German U-boat or submarine. And here's a picture of the Lusitania. So over time, with the Germans sinking these ships, Americans became increasingly angry that innocent civilians, innocent people were being killed on the seas by German submarines.
The U.S. also had economic or business ties or connections with Great Britain. The U.S. and Great Britain also had political connections. Both countries are democracies. In 1917, Germany sent the Zimmermann telegram. Germany asked Mexico to fight the United States. When the United States discovered this, they could not remain neutral anymore. The U.S. declared war on Germany in 1917.
And here's a copy of what is known as the Zimmermann telegram. When the British discovered it and decoded it, they sent it to the Americans, who were getting angrier and angrier about Germans sinking their ships. And this final discovery led most Americans to believe that they should fight against Germany.
So, at the end of World War I, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson made a peace plan called the 14 Points. The 14 Points had a plan for a world peacekeeping organization called the League of Nations. The United States Senate did not ratify or approve the peace treaty, so the U.S. did not join the League of Nations.
So this is a picture of U.S. President Woodrow Wilson. He had hoped that World War I would be the war to end all wars. It was such a terrible war that he thought that maybe humanity would not want to have another larger war. And he was hoping that his 14 points peace plan would create a world where wars would not happen again. So League of Nations would provide a place for people to talk about their problems rather than fight for them. But of course, when the United States, the country that created it, did not join it, there was very little support for anything the League of Nations decided on.